Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Odie Hawkins. Who's speaking to me? Zola, it's
I'm
you.
me.
It's you.
It's me coming in.
With
Hello.
with your black authors matter.
Black authors really do matter.
My name is Odie Hawkins. This is Zola, Salena-Hawkins, for those who may not know us. And what we're into today is something kind of different. As you know, we announce it every time we come on, whether it be Monday or Tuesday, as it is today. We announce that we're here to make an effort to sell books written by yours truly.
Yes.
And rather than go to
Black
some...
books.
Right there, yeah. Rather than go to some agency that's going to charge you money to publicize books that we can publicize on YouTube, we decided to do this ourselves. Okay, that part taken care of. That's the commercial section. That's the commercial. Today is a slightly different thing because of the telephone calls we've been receiving for a little while now. And here's what it comes down to. After having written 17 books for Holloway House, I don't want to say wrote, I didn't write the books for Holloway House. I wrote 17 books, and Holloway House was the place I submitted the books. This was starting from 1972 for the first published book by Holloway House, which was Ghetto Sketches. For a 17-year period, I wrote books that were accepted by Holloway House. And after Holloway House went kaplunk, I think it was 2008. Are you sure? Are you know?
2006 was the
2006.
Right.
The way I can validate that is a letter that was written to the Mendel Media Group in New York, asking for, well, let me read you the thing. Dear Mr. Mandel, in 2007, Holloway House Publishing Company, Los Angeles, California, sold its assets to Kensington Press, New York. I had 17 works transferred with the sale, written over a 20-year period. With the aid of the National Writers Union and the Authors Guild, I was able to secure a reversion of rights to these works. And I'm sending a synopsis in 20 pages of a book called Chester L. Simmons, alias, also known as the Great Lord Buddha, to these people to explain to them what I was about. Also, I'm saying to them, I have also written 4 recently written self-published novels that I would like to submit for consideration. What I did after having divorced myself from Holloway House was to go on into self-publishing because I felt that would be the best avenue for me to take without an agent and without having to wait for somebody to validate your credentials.
Well, yeah, because it was in 2008 that Kensington Publishing Corporation
Is that right?
responded. September 16, 2008. This is a response to your request for reversion of rights, and it lists the books. Contract with Holloway House Publishing Company, as to whom Kensington Publishing Corp. is successor in interest. So they hereby agree to revert to you all rights in this book. And we have 17 letters from Maria M. Bennett, General Counsel of Kensington Publishing Corporation.
Okay, so what happened is that I wound up having 17 books published by Holloway House and having the rights reversed to me.
And you know, some people might say, well, you have your books published at a publishing house. Well, did they sell? And you have a memo.
What do you got?
Bentley Morris.
What's that?
Memo, yes, it says, this is a memo, reprint and new book report, August 1990.
Okay, the guy who wrote this report was a man named Stone.
To Bentley, from Ray Locke.
Ray Locke.
Ray Locke sent to Bentley Morris. The accounting royalty records are not in the Robinson Weinstock file for the years 1981 to 1993. Why is that? I think they had an accounting problem.
Well, one of the accountants, I can tell you, absconded with about $30,000 to the Philippines. We'll get to the Holloway House story in a minute, but first, please, don't stop.
Okay, the book I discussed with you and recommended we reprint, Sweet Peter Dieter, was originally published in 1979 as number 547-8, and so it goes on, published again, and so it says that it sold over 50%, 2,664 copies. So it said that it should have been reprinted in 1995 with an exclamation mark. Also, Chicago Hustle was another one that sold 50%. It sold, well, it sold initially 22,000 plus copies. Then it sold 11,000 plus copies. Then 10,000 plus copies. And they're like, why wasn't it reprinted in 1996? And so forth.
Okay, so you're reading ancient history, but what comes out of it is that Holloway House was selling books that were selling by 4 particular authors: Joe Nazell, Iceberg Slim, Donald Goins, and yours truly, Odie Hawkins. They were selling like hotcakes because at the time in the 70s, people like to dismiss history of things. But at the time, if you were a black writer in Los Angeles, or maybe just in the United States alone, you might not be able to sell your books to any of the big 4, to the Bantam Press or the Penguin Press or whatever. Holloway House, under the leadership of Bentley Morris and Ralph Weinstock, 2 very clever businessmen, looked around and said, wait a minute, no one is servicing the black market, as they call it, the black market.
Right.
So they took it upon themselves to establish something called Holloway House, 8060 Melrose.
So it was a rather prominent address. And they did actually have a catalog, okay, as evidenced here. And so, of course, Iceberg Slim had his own page. Donald Goins had, formerly Robert, also known as Robert Beck. Donald Goins had a page, and I just happened to laminate Odie Hawkins' page. Okay, there you go. Doop, doop, doop. And so he had a full page with his books at the time, and in their catalog.
Thank you for that. I forgot about this. Holloway House, I'm dating my relationship with them from 1972. I had a very excellent agent named Stu Robinson who took my first novel.
Who did Stu Robinson work for?
He was in partnership with a man named Weintraub. It was Robinson Weintraub. They had just the 2 of them at one point on Melrose, that little weird street, on Melrose Boulevard at the end of it, just before it turns into La Cienega. He and his partner started doing business with people who had graduated from the Watchwriters Workshop. I was one of them. And what he did was immediately take me to Holloway House because I had a book called Ghetto Sketches. Ghetto Sketches was not an impersonation of Dylan Thomas's Under Milkwood, but it was written in a similar vein. I went up one side of a street on the west side of Chicago and down the other side, and wrote about what was happening or what I imagined was happening, and it seemed to be
seemed to work.
It worked. It was a hit. As a matter of fact, it became a book that was used in some black studies program, including one that was established by an academic named Justin Gifford.
Dr. Justin.
Dr. Justin Gifford at the University of Nevada.
At Reno. University of Nevada at Reno.
University? Okay, the book was the stimulus for the catalyst for a number of other books.
Well, in fact, Justin
Ooh,
did
this is good for your cold.
I'm doing,
I don't have a cold. I have
Ginger.
something like a frog in my throat.
okay. You should have a drink too, by the way, or get you a snack while you watch our video. So I was going to say that Justin and Dr. Margaret Burroughs, Dr. Justin Gifford and Dr. Margaret Burroughs, they used your Ghetto Sketches in writing workshops.
In their curriculums. Yeah.
And in their curriculums, and also they used Sweet Peter Dieter, I think. Okay. Justin, the last, I think he needed some copies we sent him so that he could teach writing course in prison. And he knew Sweet Peter Dieter would definitely keep the prisoners' attention.
Okay, let me explain Sweet Peter Dieter and Ghetto Sketches. At one point,
Like night and day.
night and day, night and day. At one point, a lot of stories about people who didn't have their lives start off in penthouses or on the third floor, very beautiful apartment buildings and so forth and so on, had their lives started off at a lower level than that, like mine, in the basements. So one of the things when people ask, well, Odie, what started you writing about people, low-life types? Well, I grew up with people who were generally considered in the general society low-life types. And there's one writing teacher, Dr. Margaret Peterson, once said, write about what you know. And of course the writing instructors at the Watch Writer Workshop and the people at the different academies of writing said, write about what you know. So I started off writing about something that I knew something about, that I still know something about. And that was the beginning at Holloway House. They had a idea, and the idea was to publish works that had not been published by unknown black authors, but who were writing excellent material. Quincy Troop and Emory Holmes are people who were involved in that particular movement. So, going from Holloway House after 17 years, after 17 books over almost 20 years, it took about that long. Holloway House caved in. Incidentally, it had some plus to it, but it had many minuses. And one of the ones that I hate to talk about, and I won't make a long story about it, is the fact that they were so blatantly exploitational when it comes to black writers. We were not given standard contracts. We were not over-advertised. We didn't get book tours. And basically, some of my books, I can't speak for anybody else, some of my books sold as well as the accountant that you're talking about, simply through word of mouth. People said, okay, Sweet Peter Dieter, what's that about? Well, it's about a guy named Sweet Peter Dieter. What's Ghetto Sketches about? And on and on and on. That went on for quite a while, but the purpose they served, the great purpose they served, is to acquaint a number of people with the works of people that they might never have been exposed to. At one point, if you could go back to this period of time that we're talking about in the 70s, major publishing companies were introducing the general public to female writers one at a time after James Baldwin, before him Richard Wright, James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, Alice Walker. There was a succession of female writers who didn't seem to be threatening to the publishing establishment. For some reason, black writers, male, have always been sort of positioned to be on a lower level of the
whether or not they express violence or.
We were always considered a threat. We were always considered protest novels. I mean, I could write a novel about Aboriginal life in Australia, and it would still be a protest novel. One of the things I grew to accept about that was the lie and to play on the lie. And from the 17 books at Holloway House, which was not all about street life or pimping or sweet Peter Diddy. It went off into the various areas of life that I've been exposed to. You were going to ask me a question.
Well, I was going to say, it seemed like, you're going along well with the Holloway House books, and then all of a sudden, as history does, somebody thought, well, what's with this Holloway House? And they wrote a novel. They wrote.
Okay, this is Gilstrap, a guy named Gilstrap.
Okay, this is the New Times, Los Angeles magazine. Came out, this particular one, October 16th to the 21st, 1998.
1998.
Okay, and this is the house that blacks built.
The writer, we have to get him. Can I see this?
Oh,
We have to give him credit. This is Peter Gilstrap.
Peter Gilstrap. You see that? Peter Gilstrap.
He wrote to expose, I guess you could say expose.
This is Iceberg Slim, Robert Beck, right there.
Who sold thousands of books. And as she was showing you, there's somebody named Odie Hawkins who
Right.
sold thousands of books.
Yes.
Uh,
He's also.
Bentley Morris and Ralph Weinstock. Ralph died some years ago, and Bentley Morris died recently. He was 101 years old. I wouldn't say anything really terrible or negative about these guys, other than the fact that they were businessmen, and they saw an opening and they went for it. So I can't, if capitalism being what it is,
Thank you.
you go for the throat.
And in today's market especially.
Especially.
Okay.
They didn't lie about what they were doing. They wanted to let us know that we want to make money off of you. And if you're willing to accept a low advance for your novel, we will publish it. We will give you your advance back, and then we will continue to make money off of the book that we published. What you should feel.
Whether or not we remember to give you your advance.
Remember that. It was an era, we're talking about from 1972 onward, as it relates to me perfectly. I mean, to me specifically. We had a ongoing relationship at the end of 17 books and 20-some years. I decided that the best thing for me to do would be to go into self-publishing. We looked carefully at what the market offered and what you had to do to get into it.
Right.
The first thing, as always, is to get into it with a superior product. Without boasting, I feel that I have that.
But we still have people contacting you for either Ghetto Sketches or for Lady Bliss or Mr. Bonbo Bliss, books that I've written like 2010, 2011, 2008, books that you wrote. So your writing, as you know, has not stopped. As you just finished one novel.
I won't stop.
Okay, and you're writing another novel. And it's sort of the history of artists.
Okay, but this is what's so trippy. In line with what you're saying. After all this time, with Jonah Zell, Iceberg Slim, Donald Goins, and myself, I seem to be the only one alive these days. So the recent phone calls over like the last couple of years have been people who wanted to have the information that only I could give them about these people. That includes Wanda Coleman and a number of other people who were published. At one point, Wanda Coleman was editing a magazine called Players Magazine that was one of Holloway House's little offshoots. Anyway, these people have been calling us And actually, we have to confess, this was the catalyst for this particular segment.
Mm-hmm.
They've been calling saying, we'd like to have your information. We'd like to talk to you about what it was like to know Donald Goins, or what it was like to know Iceberg Slim, and so forth and so on.
Which is kind of funny, because just because you're in the same room with people, like at a gathering of socialites, it's not going to be that you talk to everybody in the room.
Or that you know everybody,
Right,
right?
that you know everybody.
Fortunately,
Mm-hmm.
because we're such a select group,
Mm-hmm.
small group,
Mm-hmm.
I did get to know the people they're talking about. We had no choice but to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Iceberg Slim read my books, and I read his Pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Iceberg Slim read my books, and I read his Fat John and the Small Man. You know,
Was it,
we knew each other's stuff.
From Pimp, I was a Pimp Stick to Pulpit. Okay, that was,
We knew each other.
yeah.
So the people who seemed to want to get the information
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason
Mm-hmm.
from me
Mm-hmm.
have been coming at me,
Mm-hmm.
and we decided to sit here and talk a little bit about what is this all about. Okay, I can understand some guys saying, well, I didn't know Donald Goins very well. You did. So what can you tell me about him that I should know in order for me to be able to write the novel about him? I'm not above giving people information. You know, we all do that. We ask for
Share,
information.
right, you can tell what you do know, not create, but yeah.
I'm not going to create anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it occurred to me after a while answering some of these questions, including questions from the guy at The Guardian and some other people, it seemed that Donald Goins is dead, Iceberg Slim is dead, Jonah Zell is dead, Odie Hawkins is alive.
Right.
So why is it that they keep asking me for information about the dead people
Right.
instead of trying to do something with my life
Yes.
while I'm still alive? Now, I think you know more about this than I do.
Well, I think it's the old adage of, give me my flowers while I'm alive. Because I certainly can't smell them or enjoy them when I'm dead.
Okay, I think in line with that, it comes down to not flowers, but money.
That's true, too.
So if you wind up having information about a dead iceberg, if you wind up having information about him, and he has no family estate that you need to contribute to after you have done the research and gotten all the information from Odie, then you can write a fairly decent book and have the residuals go to your bank account. If they're dead, and they are dead. Donald Goins, Iceberg Slim, Jonah Zell are dead. I'm still alive. So I'm asking myself, why would you want to know something about my life or want to write about my story, which I guess is as interesting as any of the others? And the reason I came up with it is because you would have to pay me. And, well, that's a new idea for some people, huh? I think that we might be able to turn a corner if this YouTube meet reaches the right people.
I hope.
And according to George Hinojosa, there might be one out there lurking now, along with Christopher and along with Paul Stewart, and along with some other people who said, come to us with what you got and we'll reward you.
Yes.
So far, I've been rewarded. I'm not complaining because I've been rewarded tenfold by being able to sit here at this table with Zola, Salena-Hawkins, and call you out.
Yes.
Is that said enough?
That says it out.
Okay.
I think that, because, and it's interesting because you have Dr. Justin Gifford, you have Steve Rifle, okay, and they're academians of color.
Academicians.
There are other ethnic that have not reached out for Odie, but when we meet people, they say they love his works. So You know, we're just asking, isn't there anybody who wants to do anything about Odie Hawkins? Because it's kind of interesting.
I think that's a fair question.
Yes.
If you're willing to do the kind of work you need to do in order to write about somebody who's dead, why not get in touch with the guy who's still alive who can make corrections and so forth and so on?
And tell you the ins and outs. Okay, with that, just reaching out for a literary agent that really wants to take books and is not too thin-skinned, and we'll see where it goes.
Justin, you might have a project, if you think about it,
If you know anyone.
hard enough.
Okay.
Hey man, see you.
See you.